I am from Northeast Texas, a little town in Gilmer, about 2 hours east of Dallas, if someone were to look at it on a map. It's good, yeah, man. A very country, kind of rural, backwoods, slower paced, simple way of life. And I grew up playing baseball. That was actually what I did. That was my thing until college. I didn't get into music until my freshman year of school.
And what position did you play in baseball?
I was a pitcher, and I got a college baseball scholarship to go do that. So it was a good, had a pretty good little run.
Did you play for any minor league teams or anything?
No, I didn't. I did not make it that far. I wished. I have a couple of buddies that played on some of my select teams that are actually in the major leagues right now. So that kind of validates you a little bit. It makes you feel like you were good enough.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of what I grew up on. I remember as far back as I can, listening to Alan Jackson and George Strait on the radio, riding around in the truck, singing along with that stuff. And kind of the older I got, I started digging further back into more traditional sounds, like stuff that my dad and grandparents listened to. And that's kind of where I'm at right now. I like the more traditional, a lot of fiddle and steel guitar. And I like the lyrics of country music. I like the storytelling and the actual, I try to listen to what the song's saying in the verses instead of just focusing on the catchy chorus. Oh man, right now is that. It's a pretty traditional sounding. It doesn't have that modern appeal that a lot of the current country stuff does. I like doing the old school stuff, so that's
wrong with that.
What we're doing. Nothing particular, man. I like to write about a lot of stuff that I personally can relate to, that I have experience, that I know about. You know, I don't like to just go in there and try to write about something that I don't really know what I'm talking about. It's hard for me to be genuine, you know, and real. But that very country way of life, kind of rural stuff is kind of what I know in my comfort zone. So that comes out in a lot of my songs. It was awesome, man. So up until that point, I was just, you know, had a very limited scope of playing shows and locally around Austin, and then, you know, random friends, family over here, there. But that kind of opened the door up to get us a national booking agent, national recognition, and just really kind of took my career to another level. That opened the door for me to go to Nashville and get in the publishing world and start writing, doing co-writes and all that stuff. So it was a game changer as far as what I was doing before versus what the results were. And I learned a lot about just kind of the music industry and kind of what goes on behind the scenes from the business aspect of that. Because up until then, all I knew was show up with your band, plug in the PA, and play shows. I didn't know about all the stuff that went on behind the scenes. I would have liked to have been on Blake's team, just because obviously he had the country connections, because I knew that the show was temporary, so I was thinking long term, what's going to happen after this. And then they had me sing his song, so that didn't really help my cause. But yeah, I would have liked to have been on Blake's team. So we were contacted by the casting company. Actually, my manager at the time got an email, and they set us up an audition time. So I didn't have to do the wait in line and go through the whole process. Kind of got to show up, do my audition. They invited me back the next day. Went and did another audition, and then the next step was flying us out to LA. Then people don't know this. Once you fly out there, there's more cuts that they make. So just because you go out there doesn't mean you get to be on the show. You have to still make it through a couple more rounds. Oh man, I would tell them to try to be themselves as much as possible. Try not to change too much just for the sake of doing what you think they want you to do or what you think other people want you to do, because it can kind of mess up your individualism and kind of the unique aspect of what you're bringing to the table. And it's hard to do because you kind of, once you get caught up in the show, you kind of want to make them happy so they keep you around. And so it's really easy to kind of go with the flow. But if I had it to do all over again, I would be a lot more stern and I guess about the songs I sing.
It's all a learning curve as well, isn't it? So,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Living or dead?
Living or dead?
Oh man, dead. I would like to collaborate with Keith Whitley. I really like his sound. I like his voice. I like that, sad old country, just content and sound and feel. Living, I would do George Strait, just because he's kind of what I grew up on, and he's a good. He would be a pretty well-known one to collaborate and just kind of. We would have similar sounds too if we were to record something together. So that'd be good.
Yeah.
Well, I've listened to quite a bit. So when I was in junior high and teenage years, I grew up on country, Alan Jackson, George Strait. Then I got into pop and some rap and rock. And then the older I got, the more I started going back into your Keith Whitleys, your Vern Gosdin, your Merle Haggard, your George Jones, all those guys. So that's, the older I got, the further back I went. Our live shows are pretty energetic, pretty upbeat, pretty fun. I have 5 guys, fiddle player being kind of our other auxiliary, and we like to have fun. I feel like if we can have fun and engage with the crowd, that translates, and so that's kind of our main goal, is have fun on stage. And we have try to keep it up tempo. I only play 2 slow songs. I don't want to lull the people to sleep. And we play a lot of bars and dance halls and honky tonks. So music or dancing is kind of incorporated into our stuff too. So we play a lot of dancing songs. People like to 2-step at our shows back in Texas. So that's in a nutshell what we got going. And we play every weekend. So we're pretty much doing shows every Thursday, Friday, Saturday night. And you'll maybe have a weekend or 2 off a year, but it's pretty consistent. We just sent a single out to radio actually recently. That's off my last record, Undeniably Country. And the single's called Put My Money on That. And it's kind of more of a saying something, putting your foot down for what you believe in type of song with more traditional country feel. And it actually has a kind of a cool Waylon Jennings groove going on with it that we put on it. But that's the single we just released. So that one's hot off the press. And that's the big promoting point of this trip. Oh man, we're going in to record another an EP later this fall that we'll put out next year. We're going on a big cruise, week-long cruise to Jamaica, Cayman Islands, and Mexico in September. So that'll be a fun trip. And I'm also releasing a gospel record here in the next couple months. So there's several things in the short amount of time coming up. So that should keep us busy through the rest of the year. Absolutely, absolutely. My faith is kind of a big. In my opinion, that's what I need to and should be using the platform and the opportunities that I get. I mean, we get to reach a lot of people every weekend over the radio waves and on social media. So I feel like that's what I need and should be doing is using that to spread the message, and that's what I try to do as good as I can. I do when I can, and it's cool too. I'll even go on the road. Like if we're in another town on a Saturday or out on a Wednesday or Sunday, I'll just kind of look up try to find a good church to go to while we're out there, as much as I can. Oh man, there's a lot. I can't pick a favorite one. There's several that I need reminding of that kind of keep me putting. I keep there's probably 20 of them on my phone that I need to go through regularly just to stay on top of.
Yeah, the Bible's a really good guide.
It is.
Guidebook
It
as
is.
well. It's not just about religion. It's also something to guide your life as well.
Absolutely,
So,
I think it is our ultimate guidebook for life, like you
definitely
said.
it does. Yeah.
But I can't say pick one and say that's what I live by. There's a lot that I need, and I try to do a daily devotional. I try to every day, and if I go to the gym, instead of listening to music like I used to, now I'll go pull up. You can YouTube a bunch of different just messages, Bible studies. So that's what I'm listening to when I'm at the gym, when I have my headphones in. I would love to open for George Strait. That would be awesome. Just kind of ultimate thing. As far as opening band, there are some up and coming guys that I think are great that haven't got the exposure or visibility that they should, that they deserve. So that's what I would want to do. Help some of these guys that are coming up. Just put them in front of people.
Do you have any particular
Man,
ones?
Wyatt McCubbin's one, and he's a guy from Ohio. So he's not a Texas guy, but man, he's great writer, great traditional sounding guy. Another one, Mo Pitney. He has a label deal, but just a great dude, and he's got it, man. Very talented guy. In Texas, there are a guy named Clay Hollis. I think he's really good. Trying to think too. Man, Randall King is a kid coming up that's pretty solid too. He actually just wrote a song with Garth Brooks. That's going to be the opening song for his tour. So probably be hearing more about his name here in the near future.
Mm-hmm.
Josh Ward is another traditional guy from Texas that I would love to get in front of more people if possible. There's a lot of them, man. It's just, and it's unfortunate that it's kind of a game, and talent isn't always, what gets popular. But I feel like there's been a lot of guys that have helped me out over the years. So I would love to be able to help somebody else.
Okay.
Man, not really. I'm happy to be here. This is day one. I'll be here for 10 more days, so I'm looking forward to it. And this has kind of been a big deal for me. This has kind of been what I've been looking forward to. So it's nice to finally be here, and I don't know. I'm gonna make the most of it. We're gonna try to see as much as we can and just take it all in while we're here.